Okay, so I'm live practically immediately. So for my video diary, I had a good sleep. So this is what my face looks like in the morning. For my video diary, um, the three questions, three topics that I have been requested to speak upon is Prince Charles. Do I trust Prince Charles, right? And atheism, right? What's up with atheists? How does it work? How does it fit with religion? And the Batman. The Batman, who is actually a rich playboy, and does he really care about you and me? Because he has his own money, and I ought to know, right? So those are three topics I have been asked by Teen Time um, Universe to touch upon. Do I trust Prince Charles? You know, Prince Charles. We all know he's British. His priorities are the British Commonwealth and all that stuff. But he's sound of mind for sure, right? He's sound of mind. So yes, I trust Prince Charles. And speaking about Britain, from Prince Charles to like the British, like a psychopath, a serial killer who is not sound of mind. That's how trust works. From sound of mind of like Prince Charles, right? There's no indication he's unsound of mind. So I'm going to use Prince Charles, someone who's very sound of mind, right? All the way to like, the rapist or the serial killer that's not sound of mind. So that's trust. But of course, I know they're all British. Well, yeah, including the crazy nut, but of sound of mind, they're all British. So Britain comes first, just like America. I'll get to Canada as well. Just like America, your president Donald Trump is sound of mind all the way to like the school shooters who are not sound of mind, right? I know you guys, your priorities are America, right? But Donald Trump, for no, there's no other indication. So he is sound of mind all the way to the unhinged shooter that's not sound of mind, right? And that's how trust goes from the top, from sound of mind all the way to someone who's not sound of mind. You don't trust them at all. You understand? But as far as diplomacy goes, of course, you're American and Prince Charles is British and so on and so forth. You'll be a fool. It's like a soccer game, you know, there might be like the captain is the most sound of mind, and then there might be a wild guy on there who might break your knee or something with like a wild tackle. But of course, they have their net to protect, and they want to score points. The two things are totally different. Like, do you trust the other team's captain? Like, at the game, you shake hands and stuff. And then there's like some wild man on their team that'll break your knee with some illegal play. You know what I mean? That's trust. Yeah, I trust the captain. He's a decent guy. He might even get traded to my team in the future. You never know. But, there might be a wild guy on their team that'll break your knee with some crazy play. And then the next day he's thrown out the team and his career's over. You don't know. Right? So that's how trust goes. Right? Sound of mind, clean play, right? But of course, they belong to the other team. They got to protect their net and so real world works, economics and politics, right? But of the ones on their team, who's sound of mind, who's a wild man is going to break your knees with some illegal tackle. So you understand that. As far as Canada, I think Prime Minister is sound of mind, but like maybe like one rung down or two rung down, you start meeting some wild people. You know what I mean? Like in your country, it's got to be like from the presidential office all the way to like some high school shooter that's crazy down there. In Canada, I feel like it's Prime Minister, his doormat, and then a bunch of wild people. They're going to break your knees with some illegal play. You know what I mean? And in Britain, why I think majority is still sound of mind, all the way down to some nut bomber. You know what I mean? Some crazy extremist, low on the totem pole. But you know, it seems to me like everybody is pretty much sound of mind all the way to down to the nut on low totem pole. Same with America. Everybody's pretty much sound mind all the way down to the nut. Crazy nut, low on the totem pole. In Canada, it's like prime minister sound mind, police chief sound mind, and then a bunch of crazy people. So that's, you know what I mean? It's like prime minister, police chief, and then a bunch of fucking crazy people. In Britain, it's like all the way down to the homeless crazy nut on the street. That's it. Everybody else perfectly sound of mind. In America, everybody perfectly sound of mind except for the crazy kid on the street. But in Canada, it's like prime minister, police chief, and then everybody's fucking crazy. It's my own fucking team. You know what I mean? I can't even say anything because I'm not even a fucking starter. It's my own fucking team. You know what I mean? It's like prime minister, police chief, and everybody else fucking wild people. In America, it's like from the president all the way down, and then only crazy people are like some crazy kid. In Britain, it's like all the way down from the Queen, Prince Charles, always some crazy kid who's gonna bomb you guys. But in Canada, it's like prime minister, police chief, and then everybody else fucking crazy. All right, so that's Prince Charles. How does atheism? Okay, so start where I'm from. Religion is sort of like a path in life. Some, you know, like the priests and the monks and stuff who are celibate and stuff like that. I call them the astronauts of religion. You know what I mean? The astronauts of religion, highly trained, go through all sorts of weird experiences, right? And then there are other people like you might, you know, so on and so forth. But it's a path in life. But there are issues within religion that you might not agree with, like homosexuality and stuff. Or I should say not you, but like religion does not agree with, like homosexuality and stuff. And if you have no problem with that, like, you know, you have like, you know, gay people or you are gay people, what you do is you go back to like humanity. Not all of them are evil. Not every path is a fascist, Jew burning path. Some paths are like, you know, Aristotelian quantum physics path. You know, some paths are like simple tradesperson, save my money path. You know, not everyone's chooses the path of the fascist Jew burning path. That's evil. So, and some people choose the religious path. So, if your religion, you know, at the moment, you know, vilifies gay people, and you happen to be gay, or you are, you know, gay people, you got no problem with gay people, you default to humanity, right? And so it's like, and so it's like you still, if they ask you a path, you say, well, I'm more religious than not, right? But, you know, in contemporary times, you know, at the moment, I have no problem with gay people. It's not like they're a group of gypsy people that's stealing from my village or something. I have no problem with that. And then it turns out there is a group of gay people stealing from me, I'm sure it's just like a brigand of mobsters or something. I'm sure it's not some kind of worldwide terror organization. So people who are not religious, it is not like they live in this boundless field of humanity. They do choose a path. Their path is like they do choose a path like maybe like mathematics, chemistry, some or writing, like philosophy or some philosopher. They do choose a path, but it's not religious, so it falls within the category of atheism. Anything not religious is atheism, but they do have a path. It's not like they live in this boundless sphere of humanity. Anything goes. They do follow rules, like say you're not religious, right? So technically you're atheist, but you're diehard like Aristotelian, like Aristotle, right? It's not like they're gonna. And if you come to them with some crazy fascist idea, they're not gonna agree with you. It's like, yeah, I'm an atheist, but my teacher is Aristotle. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, we're two atheists, we have something in common, let's be fascists. It's like, no, my teacher is Aristotle. Okay. So that's atheism to me. All right. It's like my teacher's Aristotle. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not religious. I don't believe there's omnipotent God or anything like that. But my teacher is Aristotle or some some other philosopher or some scientist, what have you. You can't just bring some crazy other idea in the realm of atheism, like burning Jews as a fascist, and try to convince me, hey, atheist brother, let's burn some Jews because we're atheists. No, my teacher is Aristotle or Socrates. You understand? So that's still being good. You know what I mean? As an atheist, right? And then Batman. Should you trust whose team is Batman on? Okay, so here's a little hint, right? There are black people in a Batman universe, and then you go name one, and I would say it's the robber on the street. Okay, that's what do you expect? What do you want? All right, everybody thinks they can star in a movie nowadays. What do you want? Everybody thinks they're watching movies. Right? You go on YouTube, everybody thinks they're watching movies. Right? Like, who's this matinee idol on YouTube? Right? It's the Netflix street movie Mimi. Everybody turns on YouTube, thinks all they're gonna meet are like matinee idols and leading men. What do you want? All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.